Hello. Okay, so I want to do a reading surrounding the number 317 because I've been seeing it honestly I've just been seeing it for a while now. I didn't do a reading on it for reasons that I don't remember anymore. I'm sure I had my reasons. The point though is that I am at a point where I am trying to do this reading because I'm trying to figure out if there's a message that, needs to get out that we can come back to and cite again and again whenever we see that number. So I am going to start this message. We're doing a reading on the number 317. It could be 317, 17 on the clock, March 17th, I don't know. 317, 317 is what I'm getting. 333. 3 feels more like significant. 317. 317s, like 3/17th of a second. 317s. 3/17th, there's something about the 3, there's 3 of them. You know what I mean? 3 really feels multiple in this number. It's not just the number 3, the number 1, the number 7, or just the number 3 and the number 17. It's 3 as in threes, 1, 2, 3. I don't know how else to explain that, but the meaning behind the number 3 is in why it's 3 and not 2, because there's 1, 2, 3. That feels significant. That spiritual growth at the back of the deck. I'm gonna keep it out. And we have courage and bravery. Okay, and what's this next one? Courage and bravery has come out quite a few times, I guess, recently. Spiritual growth has too, or maybe just the times it's come out have felt significant. Is it wrong that I wanna get right? And holy love, wanna get right with you. I was thinking of Archangel Michael, and on Tuesdays there's a prayer you can say in a ritual, so perhaps that is something to do to start. Bahati Life, Jessica Alexandra from Bahati Life, she has more information on that if you want to find it, on Archangel Michael and the shrine that he has and the prayer towards him. So we have holy love, courage and bravery, and spiritual growth. Okay, so clearly this is more of a spiritual reading. Maybe it's the steps. It could be the steps. I can't leave. And we also have 3 cards out here. Is it wrong that I wanna get right with you? I'm looking at this shield on courage and bravery. And it's the first time I've ever seen the sun on that shield as a woman. And you know what song's playing in my head when I said first time? And for the first time in forever, first time in forever. So there could be something happening for the first time in a long time. You could be reaching this phase for the first time in a long time. This could be your 3rd attempt out of 17 lives. Maybe you've had 17 lives, right? So far. And just rock with me here, because it doesn't need to be exact. We're just talking. So maybe you've had 17 lives, 17 past lives. And throughout those 17 past lives, you've tried to get to this spiritual inclination, this spiritual phase, this level, whatever, three times. Not that you've gotten here. Oh, okay, in my head I said 13, and I've been seeing the number 13. Maybe you've attempted to get to this level. I just saw 444, 13 times. Maybe you've reached this level 3 times. I would argue that this could, I wanted to argue that this could be the third time, but the fact that I saw, I'm considering that maybe this is actually the fourth time. Yeah, reconsider. Maybe this is the third time. Look, I don't think it needs to be so scary and exact. So let's say this is the third time, to stick with this idea of 317. So you've had 17 lives. Perhaps you've tried to get to this level, this space 13 times. Perhaps you've actually only been able to get to this space 3 times, including this lifetime. Maybe this is your 17th lifetime, right? So the past 2 times you must have gotten here and then failed. Like this could be the level that you like collapsed, you stagnated. I mean, we have so many different spiritual journeys that we're on. So whatever this distinct spiritual journey that you're on is, because you have multiple ones happening within one lifetime, right? Sometimes at the same time. So maybe for whatever this specific journey that it is that we're going to get into, yeah, you've gotten to this level 3 times. The last 2 times, like, you stalled out or something. Like, maybe you didn't trust, maybe the light didn't last long enough, maybe something happened, you know. It could be a matter of willpower. And for some reason I heard in my head disgrace. Disgrace. But yeah, so you stalled out the past few times. This is your 3rd attempt. And maybe 3rd time's a charm. Maybe 3rd time's a charm. It might have been a while since you last gotten here because of the for the first time in forever. So it could be a really long time. Maybe the 2nd time that things pattered out and it didn't work, you might have moved on, you might have given up for a while, you might have just not tried this path again, let other things grow, and maybe you're rekindling this path again. So there's a rekindling here. And this is perhaps a part of yourself. So funny enough, this part of yourself might be a bit underdeveloped or under-catered to, underserved compared to the rest of you, because you might have been spending the past quite few lifetimes, maybe the past 4 lifetimes, because we said that, yeah, and that would make sense why 4. So maybe it's been 4 lifetimes since you've tried to achieve this, which is a long time. I mean, that's a long time. Because remember we said you've tried to do this 13 times. Maybe you did it like 13 times in a row. And then you're like, fuck this. And that makes sense because 13 is the death card, right? And then right after that is 14. So Temperance, which is all about a break. Maybe you're at the star because maybe you had 13 lifetimes in a row where you tried to do this. You only got there 2 times within those 13 lifetimes, but you tried and tried and tried again. 13th lifetime, after that didn't work out, you stalled out, stopped. Then you did Temperance, the Devil, and the Tower. And now, so your past 3 lifetimes could have been focused around those energies, Temperance, the Devil, and the Tower. And now you're at the star and you're back at this wish, trying to fulfill this. And so it's been a while. So you're kind of having to dust off your boots, but you've done the work to get to this level. This level doesn't seem to be the ultimate level. It's just like you've never gotten past this level. Right? You've gotten here before, and then when you were here, things didn't work out in other lifetimes. I'm not quite sure how or why, but you're here again. Now, older, much wiser. So let's see what this is all about. I do feel like this is related to the divine feminine, and there seems to be this aspect of letting yourself like be enveloped by it, letting it envelop you, letting it guide you, letting it shield you, seeing the divine feminine like as your protector. And perhaps that's been a difficult concept to digest for your soul or whatever. Maybe that's been hard to feel shielded by and protected by the divine feminine, to allow that to be your healer, to allow that to be your protective gear, your spirit. It's like, imagine if you like spent the last few lifetimes, or like spent every lifetime as like a soldier, right? And like your goal was to overcome like that form of protection, like war as a form of protection, and embrace peace as a form of protection. Like that's having peace be your protection is difficult. Maybe that's why it's the saying that is the saying for all religions, peace be with you, because it's not an easy thing to hold faith. It's not an easy thing to achieve enlightenment. And it's not an easy thing to achieve peace and to have peace be with you. Maybe your goal within this spiritual timeline, because you have multiple happening at the same time, right? So maybe this timeline that you're exploring and that you took a break from was letting peace be with you, letting peace be your shelter, letting peace be your hideaway, your holding space, your not your cavern, maybe your cavern, your spot. Like peace is your sunshine. I don't know. I'm thinking of a word that I can't figure out right now, but your citadel. Peace be your citadel. So maybe that's the timeline that you're on, that's the phase, and you are at a certain place within that journey of letting peace be your shelter, letting peace be your protection, and you're holding on to it. And it's doing the work, but it's triggering work, I imagine. It's exalting work because it becomes you. You know, you have to become peace. In order for peace to become your shelter and to become your weapon, you have to become it. There is something about the word weapon, like weapon, let it be your weapon. There was something, maybe it was a reading I did, maybe it was a message. Weapon was like a thing, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But that message has come up and I'm thinking about it. Maybe I'll try and find it. Maybe, hold on. My video stopped, but maybe it was in the process of maybe you got stuck on this. Maybe you got stuck on the process of trying to understand peace, trying to understand it, or trying to understand the how it could be your weapon. Like maybe you weren't understanding how to use peace, and maybe that was the problem. The idea that you thought it was something to be used or something to like understand, because it's not logical and it's not physical. And it's not a war tool. It's not the same frequency as war. So like with war energy, with maybe Martian energy, like, you know, you have actual like battle gear, you have tools, you have strategies and tactics. These are things that you use. These are things that you understand, that you learn. Peace is a different kind of education. It's a different kind of like knowledge, and so the process of learning is very different, and perhaps this is where you stuttered and stalled out each time, that process of trying to understand. And so I feel like this lifetime, what the goal is with this timeline, I don't know if you're going to complete this timeline this lifetime, because peace is quite a big thing to achieve, like inner peace, you know, but perhaps you are just going to focus on the act of becoming. You're just going to focus on becoming, because if you don't try to understand it and you don't try to rationalize it and you don't try to use it, you just let it become you, then, you know, you give up your sense of control, and perhaps that's what you need in this journey. So yeah, okay, cool. That sounds interesting. I can't leave you alone, eyes on me. I can't leave, dancing out under the crying on me. Yeah. Is it wrong that I wanna get right with you? Is it wrong that I wanna get right? Okay. So we have take a break, a life's work, not a season, get off the treadmill, which was reversed. We have you're already doing it, stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. And we had transformation, things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. So, yeah, perhaps the thing with peace is that it's like, girl, you have to just accept that it's happening without any evidence, without any, because that's not how peace works. It's not showing up as evidence. Like, what is evidence to peace? Peace has nothing to prove. And so it doesn't provide evidence because it has nothing to prove, because there's nothing that it's arguing against, because there's no adversary, because there's no debate. There's nothing that's in a disagreement with it. It's at peace. There's only harmony. So peace can't give you evidence because there is nothing to argue. Everything already understands, everything already accepts, everything already agrees because it's at peace. It's in harmony. So like that's the thing that you're going to need to be able to accept. Like you're not going to get the evidence. You're not going to be able to have a file that you can look into and be like, okay, well, boom, 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 boom. Okay. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It'll show up in your life. Your life will begin to feel much different, but you have to let it, you know, and you just have to let it and you just have to become it. And there's nothing you really have to do. There's nothing you have to do. I think it's just like, you got to turn your brain off. This is a battle between you and your brain. You know, it's like, because peace is like, it's otherworldly. You see humans, peace is not natural. It's not very natural in humans. Like, we can have glimpses of it, but we're a warring people. We're a warring tribe because we're a survivalist tribe. We have to survive. And to survive, most of the time on this planet, you have to fight for your life in order to survive. So peace is not necessarily natural to us. And so like, there's no judgment there. But you're on, this is a spiritual journey. So you're trying to achieve something and bring something down to this earth that isn't inherent. And because of that, you know, you're going to have to kind of move beyond your human ways in some ways, and let your soul and the strength of your soul overpower this thing by allowing everything to merge and become one. So you could be becoming one with yourself, which is cool. So yeah. Is it wrong that I wanna get right with you? Yeah, okay. I don't know if there's much more to say. I feel like that's kind of it. Isn't that crazy? That was super fast. Yeah, I think that's it. So this can be your sighting thing. It's about peace. Peace. May peace be with you. Peace onto your spirit and onto those who love you. Peace. Peace.